Perhaps, dear viewers, perhaps today was one of those days when you thought that nobody loves you. But how much do I love you? I love you so much that I reset my game of Nite Team 4 so we could start over from scratch and see everything the way that it was meant to be. Instead of playing through replaying missions where the voice acting and stuff like that was not working, I just went ahead and reset so that when we complete as we continue our way through the tutorial here in Digital Forensics. If you watched my last video, we did basic terminal operations. Now we're doing digital forensics. You'll be able to hear all the wonderful voice acting, and hopefully it'll be loud enough this time too. I had to go through and boost the audio on the last one, which was not a lot of fun, I'll tell you that. But here we go. We're back in Nite Team 4, military hacking simulation. Great game. Even though it's kind of an old game, even though it's still not in active development, I suggest you play it, and I'm hoping these videos will help you play. Will make you want to play it. If nothing else, I'm hoping it'll bring attention to the other games that Allison Smith have created, and it'll help you consider buying their next game, whatever it may be, because they are truly a unique developer among all the developers out there. So let's go on to File Browser. This one probably won't be super exciting, but let's look.
Welcome to Advanced Training. These certifications are not mandatory but can vastly improve your effectiveness during active missions. Your eagerness to better yourself has been noted. Keep it up. As a Nite Team 4 agent, there's more to the job than just wreaking havoc inside a target's network. Collecting data from a compromised network can often mean life and death for our field agents. The information gathered is invaluable to the success of the mission. The following set of certifications will focus on digital forensics, the branch of forensic science focused on recovering and investigating intel found electronically. We're going to start simple. Agent Dylan will introduce you to your Stinger OS file browser. Then you'll move on to advanced modules, whose abilities will likely cause you to lose a night or two of sleep.
Notice what she said there about losing a night or two of sleep. Remember that a lot of the tools in this game are real-world tools. And the way you see them used in this game, while the interface for the real-world tools like Metasploit are not as simple as they have here in this game, there are real-world tools that can do a lot of what you see in this game that places like the NSA, probably Mossad, and other highly powerful intelligence agencies around the world have. So that's what she's referring to. You might lose sleep once you realize exactly how much power these organizations have and how much reach they have. They might even be watching me right now discussing them. And always remember, when you're playing this game, these real life references down here, I could click on this and read an article about digital forensics.
Well, look who's now a security analyst. Can't wait to upgrade your clearance level. Alright, let's make it happen. Your Stinger OS comes with a file browser that automatically detects a host protocol on Linux or Windows. As long as you've got the necessary credentials, you can log in and browse a target's user files and folders. I've set up a shared folder on my local computer so you can familiarize yourself with the tool. Start by launching the password attack module to brute force my account. The module is in your network intrusion menu. In a future certification, I'll bring you up to speed on dictionary attacks and hash cracking, but for now, just use these parameters. The target URL is ftp.niteteam4.com, and my username is D. Voorhees. That's Delta Victor, Oscar Oscar, Romeo Hotel, Echo Echo Sierra. After the password attack interface is loaded, select the dictionary John the Ripper and click Start to launch the attack.
Yeah, like we talked about in the previous video, a dictionary attack is when when the computer, whatever hacking tool you're using, has a list of words that it's going to use, and it just brute forces, it just tries them over and over, one after the other. If password 123 doesn't work, then it tries password 1234. If password 1234 doesn't work, then maybe it tries money and secret and all sorts of other common password uses. It just keeps trying them over and over again until hopefully it finds one. Now you see we have a lot of network objectives down here. When we do the training, the game does pretty good about displaying the objectives on the screen for us so we don't have to write them down. So the Turbine C2 registry is a list of all the backdoor connections you have delivered and secured using the Fox Active server.
Turbine C2 registry initiated.
If you remember in the previous tutorial, we hacked into NiteTeam4.com, so that gives us access to their VPN. So we should be able to just click on that.
Action completed.
And now we are connected to the NiteTeam4.com thing. So now we're going to open the network intrusion menu, which is right here. And then we are going to use the password attack module.
Password attack and intrusion module initiated.
And when we use our target, when we click on our target, it should bring up, let's see, we want to do ftp.niteteam4.com, and it was Voorhees. We want to do basic. I think we're doing this right.
Target acquired. Awaiting variables to launch attack.
Okay, so we did have to remember these, and this is why I said to keep a notebook next to you so you can remember these things. I just happen to remember Voorhees because I'm a genius. Actually, no, I have no idea how I managed to remember. I remember the name, but I would have expected it to have one O. Anyway, here we are. This is the password attack tool. You give it the URL, the username you're going after, and we have these different password dictionaries we can use. Because people are going to have different passwords on different systems. Somebody might use a different password on LinkedIn. They might use more professional passwords than they would use on eHarmony. Or they might use passwords like, I hope my wife doesn't find out, or something like that. But we're going to use the John the Ripper password, and you can see it uses this distribution of passwords, with most passwords having 7 characters and the fewest amount of passwords having 12 or more characters. So, launch.
Attack launched.
So it'll keep doing this. He says about 30 seconds. So we can just sit here and take a drink of our Aldi's brand LaCroix Bellevue. They were out of passion fruit, so I'm drinking Bellevue grapefruit today. Which is not bad, I tell you. Which is not bad at all.
Password successfully compromised.
So his password is Jason, just like in Jason Voorhees from the popular franchise movies, The Santa Claus. All right, so click on return. So Voorhees password is Jason. So we can close all this out, and you can see we got our back to certification.
Awesome! You found my super secret password. Looks like I'll have to update my AOL login info. Now, connect to my computer and download the personnel NT4 files in my user directory. My computer IP is 192.168.1.5. The file browser module is in the data forensics menu.
I'm writing down that TCP IP address just in case, and personnel NT4 files, NT4 personnel files. Writing them down, just good habit in case you ever decide to get into real world hacking. If you do get into real world hacking, especially get a laptop and you have a virtual machine on it, so you can wipe your traces immediately. You didn't hear that from me. Alright, so continue training. While connected to FTP and NiteTeam4.com, I think we're still connected to that, right?
Turbine C2 registry initiated.
Yes, because if I was on that, it would say disconnect, so we're still connected. So open the file browser module, which is right here. Target host. Seems like it would go ahead and have this for us. tp.nite. Oh, we want to use the IP address of Jason's computer, 192.168.1.5. Remember, NiteTeam4 is just a domain. There's other computers off of that domain, and this is Jason's computer. You know that it's on a separate domain because it begins with a 192. So, connect. So, load from password attack. So I can click on this, and I didn't have to remember Voorhees and Jason. It automatically remembered those things. So basic authentication, Voorhees, Jason, and then connect. So now we are connected to the thing. Now we can add the case file. This is in case we're doing, I'm gonna go ahead and click on it just in case. Any documents, credentials, or logs that you save in your current mission can be reviewed by accessing the command center's case file. Now when we get into the real world missions, those are going to be more useful. We don't really need them that much right now. So go back to network intrusion, data forensic, file browser. All right, I don't know why I did that. 192.168.1.5. Alright, load from password attack. I don't think I need to do this again, but here we are. Okay, so we need to find the... Is it in cool stuff? Personal stuff. Boring finance reports, not porn. Made you look.txt. Very funny, good sir. Let's go back up to Academy Training in T4 files. D Voorhees. Now we're going to download those files and that should complete his training. Found his not porn directory. I certainly don't have one of those. Back to certification.
Gaining access to a target's network not only allows you to dig around their computer, you can also plant malware or even compromising evidence within their system. It's an effective means of gaining leverage and control over your target. Plus, it's fun. To finish the certification, plant the file Bank of China Savings Account in my user directory. You'll need to navigate to my Documents folder and upload the file by double-clicking it in the Delivery Package panel.
Alright, so we're going to plant some incriminating evidence on him. Remember, when we're doing this, we have to continue training button down here. If we just exit out and go back to the main menu, then we won't be in the training module. So we have to click on continue training. We're still connected to him, right? Still connected. So go back into file browser. Then we have to go back into his 192.168.1.5. Here we go. Load from password attack. Connect. So now we want to go into his personal account. To Dylan's root folder. This is his root folder, FTP root, D Voorhees. That's the username. We don't need to go into any of this other stuff. And you can see these little locks show us we can't even go into these. So I'm going to click on that. We're uploading Bank of China Savings Account.txt to him. And we're done with the training. So we got a certification for that. And so now we are ready to move on to X key score. Now X key score, you might remember, X key score is the one that's kind of tricky. I don't know if this is a tool that they have in real life or not. I do know that it can kind of be a pain in the butt sometimes, because you kind of have to like make some guesses sometimes. And I remember that there was one real world mission where I was just like going crazy trying to figure out what to put into this tool. Could have just been me being a dunderhead. But we'll look at the tool. X key score.
You now have the means to covertly browse a target's documents and sensitive data, which is useful, but often the important information is hidden in vast amount of data. It's far too time-consuming to sift through it all manually. Luckily, our friends at the NSA gave us access to X key score, an advanced server grid that gathers and analyzes millions of data points in mere seconds. When you're searching for a needle in the haystack, X key score is like a powerful magnet. As a level 1 security analyst, your access to military and civilian surveillance data is very limited, but you can use X key score to identify specific patterns in any data sources you yourself find during missions. Agent Dylan will demonstrate what you can get out of X key score at your current clearance level.
So basically X key scores, you give it some keywords, you give it some starting points, and then it just basically looks for connections between various things. Like you might give it the name Bob and you might give it the name Sally, and then it'll look through all the available data that it has to see any connections that Bob and Sally might have to each other. Sometimes you can give it 3 bits of data or 4 bits of data, and you might find that Bob and Sally both work for the same company and they both have a friend named Josh or something like that. Let's get a look at it in game.
X key score. You're going to grow to love this thing.
Got
Does
it.
most of the heavy lifting for us. Trust me, it saves a ton of time and effort. X key score is the last icon at the bottom of your screen, the one that looks like an eye. The interface is super simple. When you import data points into X key score, it analyzes and tags them as organizations and individual entities, or else data sources, for things like bank accounts, financial transactions, or traffic cams. I've loaded 2 entities into your database. Drag and drop them in the center of the screen and select the IDs and records pattern. This will task X key score to find any official records connecting the entities. To run the query, Click on the play icon in the lower center of the screen.
Alright, so here we go. Here's the little, it's right here, this little icon that looks like an eyeball. The X-Key Score Forensics module grants you access to investigation tools that enable you to link multiple entities and see what binds them.
X-Key Score Forensics initiated.
So here's our 2 data points we can load into it. We don't have to just type in things. Now, if there's a whole bunch of these, and sometimes there might be, you might have to use these searches and filters, but we're just going to load Dylan and Nite Team 4 over here. And he said to do IDs and records, which is the only one that we have access to. Notice we had to click it before this button became active. So there, and then we have a play button down here that we can click on. I don't think that's very intuitive, these buttons here, but now that you know that you're here, you'll always know. So now this runs, and you can see that it found Agent Dylan's Nite Team 4 profile. And there's the picture of our friend. And we can click to zoom in on it, and you can tell you more about him. And information in here is information you might need in other parts of the investigation. When you're doing the other missions, there will be some really long investigations, unless you're running bounties, which are kind of like procedurally generated missions. Usually you might need 1 or 2 bits of information out here. Agent Voorhees is an experienced cybersecurity and network intrusion expert. Before entering the agency, Voorhees served as a junior officer in the U.S. Army stationed in Iraq. Like information like this might be something you might want to put in at a different time. So go ahead and close that out. Back to certification.
That's me! Hard to think I could be such a skilled hacker and such a handsome devil. Some of us just have it all, I guess. Now let's add Wheeler as a third entity. Try to find something that connects all 3.
So like I said, we're gonna go back into X-Key Score.
X-Key Score Forensics
And you see we have
initiated.
Dylan and Nite Team 4. Now we're gonna add Wheeler there, and we're gonna see how Wheeler connects, if Wheeler connects to any of these organizations or connects to Dylan. So it's only take about 2 seconds. And we can see Agent Dylan is under Sergeant Wheeler's command. We have Agent Wheeler's NT4 profile now. We already had Agent Dylan's profile, and we can see there's a connection. And so Agent Dylan, we're going to look at his. Let's look at, this is Catherine Wheeler's profile that we've already been looked at. We can look at it in the image viewer, look at her, read her information, and then we can close it out. And so discover a link that connects. All right, where did it go? All right, so
X-Key Score
connects them
Forensics
together. So
initiated.
Agent Dylan is under Sergeant Wheeler's command, and that's what we needed. That's what connects the 2 people. They both work for Nite Team 4, obviously, but what connects them is this document here that says your request for transfer has been granted by Division 66. You are now a member of Nite Team 4, Section 8, under the direct command of Sergeant Catherine Wheeler. You are to report to her at once and receive your orders. Your previous CEO, Sergeant Furness, has been notified of your transfer. So this brings us up a document that shows that these 2 are connected.
Great job! I've reset your entities and loaded up an investigation scenario. Find a connection between Sigil and the Black Watchmen. Any new entities you discover will automatically be added to your X-Key Score database.
Alright, so an X-Key Score identifies the list of suspects and their connection to the Black Watchman. The Black Watchman is a previous Allison Smith game. You don't have to know anything about it to play this one. Investigate deeper into Quetzalcoatl's connections and find a connection between Sigil and the Black Watchman. Continue training. Open this up.
X-Key Score Forensics
And you
initiated.
can see all these new things. I'm going to go ahead and reset because we don't want any connection between them. We're going to load up all of our new people: Gregory Lesky, John Taylor, Oscar Bryan, and the Black Watchman. IDs and records. And we're going to run it. So there's a lot more of them, so it's taken 4 seconds to run this one. No relations connected. Did we need to have Nite Team 4 on there? Let's give it a shot. Oops, forgot. We can't do that. Alright, so Are we in training still? Alright, so let's go back to Academy. We need to continue training. Okay, I don't think that should have been an issue, but maybe it was.
X key score
There we
forensics.
go, the list of suspects.
Initiated.
So let's reset. So we want the Black Watchman on there for sure. We want Oscar Bryan and John Taylor. We'll put them on there. If you notice, our server capacity is 3. We can only have 3 entities loaded into here at a time. So we're going to search IDs and records and run this. We still have this John Taylor person who we might have to investigate at a later point. So John Taylor, Gregory Letsky. We didn't have Letsky loaded, so we see that the Black Watchman, we don't see a connection to them yet. John Taylor mission report. We've unlocked Quetzalcoatlus. You unlocked a new set of X key score entities. You now have access to new data that will help you with your investigation. You see we can find by cross-trafficking indices and running pattern analysis, which is what we've been doing. So let's look at this document. Audio log between Sheriff Taylor, concerned update Taylor. This is Taylor report again. No man in position with the store. Over, understood. Try to get some photos of anything unusual you see. We'll do. Over and out. 5-minute 34-second pause. Oh, come in, Taylor. Over. There's something here. Hold on. 15-second pause. I think I got a photo of it. I will send it over straight away. The dust is really heavy right now. I'm not sure if I good shot. Over. Understood. Can you describe what you saw? Over. Sure, I got a decent look at it. It looked like a child. A little bald, wrinkly, dried up child. Like the body we found, only smaller. Over. Anything else? We need as much as possible to ID. And that was it. So now we need to investigate deeper.
X key score forensics.
So that was the John Taylor mission report, Oscar Bryan mission report. Click to zoom. Email exchange between Morpho trader Oscar Bryan and his research assistant Rob Kellers. Here's the weekly report on items you're watching. These are all edition A. We're expecting your price raise again. And so this looks like they're looking at some sort of item on the stock exchange. I don't know what it is. So we're looking for more connections.
X key score forensics initiated.
So now we need to get rid of these. I want to get rid of John Taylor. Just drag him off. I'm going to put Gregory Letsky on here now. Oh, let's get rid of Gregory Letsky, and we want to put this Quetzalcoatlus on there that we just found. Alright, so now we got Quetzalcoatlus suspect ID, and he's connected to, don't know yet, connected to the Black Watchman somehow. Alright. Click to zoom. Opals was a Class B Void Rift event. Sounds familiar. One hostile entity, several partial remnants, and many non-hostile entities came into our dimension from Redacted. The hostile entity, Quetzalcoatlus, caused the death of 1 asset and at least 5 civilians before it was eliminated. The entity is thought to have appeared sporadically in the area over a 7-year period based on the dates of disappearance and several of its victims. Target LED A26 attacked during dust storms which caused various meteorological, physical, and digital disturbances. John Doe was the victim. Sheriff Taylor was an asset on the thing. So that was... This all happened in the Australian outback. So now let's see if we can find some more connections. So let's get rid of Oscar Bryan and add in Gregory Letsky. See if that does anything, because we didn't have him on here before. Alright, so we got Gregory Letsky mission reports and Quetzal's suspect ID. Let's look at this mission report first. It's interesting. We have prepared a brief profile on the subject that you tasked with surveillance. We do not know his current whereabouts. However, we were able to extract some intelligence on him based on past data available online and through phone records. We hope this proves useful in tracking down contact information location. His name is Gregory Lexpert. He's an employee of the Vanberg Institute. He's assistant researcher. His hobbies are handheld gaming, a PS Vita, collecting games, poker, and long-distance running. This guy sounds a little bit too familiar. Alright, so that's that, and then we have the suspect ID.
Initiated.
Oh, we already looked at that one. So did we find anything new that time?
X key score forensics initiated.
And so this is where it became kind of not really as fun. Just trying to figure out the connections between all these things. If we get rid of the Black Watchman and just have all three of those suspects there, or all three of these suspects connected to each other in any way. Try another combination. So let's get a... Oh. Alright, so let's get Oscar Bryan. They connected to Nite Team 4 at all? Let's see. Nope. So this is where things just kind of got boring to me, is when we were trying to just figure out which these combinations are. We can only put 3 things in there. Partial relations detected. But we were trying to find Quetzalcoatlus and the Black Watchman. Oh, we want Quetzalcoatlus on there. We want Black Watchman on there. So let's get rid of Gregory Letsky and just have Black Watchman. Did we already run this one? I think we did. Okay, Sigil mission report. Did we have that? No, this is our new one. Okay. Congratulations, Agent. You unlocked it. Alright, so this is it. Sigil mission report. What was the Sigil mission? Click to zoom. List of Void Rift entity activities. Sounds a lot like the game Control, which was an awesome game, but I'm guessing this all goes back to the other Allison Smith game, which is called The Black Watchman. List of different entity reports. I'm not going to read all these to you. The marked increase in Void Rift events occurred throughout the world, involving extreme weather events and dangerous Void Rift entities. Alright, so go ahead and close that out. Is that what we needed? No. So back. Forensic. Oh, back to X-key score.
X-key score forensics.
So we already looked at John Taylor mission report. We already looked at that. We already looked at suspect ID. So we know that Sigil and the Black Watchman are connected. So how do we connect Sigil to anything else? Get rid of John. So John Taylor was here. Quetzalcoatlus. If we get rid of John Taylor and put Gregory Letsky on here. Oops, so we get rid of John Taylor, put Gregory Letsky on here. What does that do for us? Anything? We already had all this information. Yep. So let's get rid of Gregory Letsky, Black Watchman, and Sigil. Quetzalcoatlus, Black Watchman, and Sigil. Sigil threat report. There we go. That's what we needed. Just keep digging and digging. Sigil depth report. Rift Intercept Squad was assembled from seasoned Sigil field agents and received special training for Rift Intercept operations. The squad made contact with Subject Theta as soon as she entered the Rift. Agents fired on Subject with tranquilizer bullets, but they were deflected. Several casualties were sustained as Subject fought back. Sharpshooter fired on Theta and hit right shoulder, incapacitating them. So I'll just let you read all this yourself when you play, because from what I remember, the Nite Team 4 doesn't delve into this paranormal stuff. It deals more with more real world issues. Alright. Alright, we got that certification, so we've got 2 more certifications. So all we have next is mobile forensic. This one was kind of fun.
Great work, Agent. This is the last step of your digital forensics training. Agent Dylan and I prepared a little investigation scenario to test what you've learned so far. Good luck.
Let's start by investigating a new employee at cyberdynegroup.net. We stole borrowed his laptop and uploaded its contents to X-Keyscore. You've already got access to their network, so open your Turbine C2 registry and connect to the Cyberdyne network. It's the first icon on the lower middle of your screen. The registry shows all the networks you can access thanks to your work with Fox Acid. Locate the network card you want to use and click Connect to VPN. Your remote address at the top corner of your screen will change to Cyberdyne. This means any web navigation or attacks you carry out will look like it's coming from inside their own network. Neat, right? Use XKey score to find intel about the location of the main corporate file server. Once you've found it, run a fingerprint attack against the server.
Alright, so we're going to connect to Cyberdyne Group, so that we'll be running on their servers, our computers, and at ours. We'll use XKey score to find their main corporate file server, and then run a fingerprint attack against that server. So remember, we have to click the Start Training button. So the first thing we need to do is go to our network card down here, and we're going to connect to Cyberdyne Group.
Connection completed.
Alright. Find a key document in XKey score that would help compromise Cyberdyne Group. So we're going to go here.
Score forensics.
We're going to reset. And we're going to look at the two entities we have, Cyberdyne Group and Sasha Brewster. And looks like we need to, oh, there we go. Click on that and then run. So we have an employee record, and we have a new employee, John Dyson, it looks like. So let's look at this employee record. Sasha Brewster continues to excel in her promotion, and we see her manager, John Dyson. That's why we were given that new entity. Regularly meeting deadlines and providing high quality analysis, which is vital to several ongoing research projects. On her next performance review, she is eligible to receive a 15% raise. My God, I'm a teacher. You know how many years I would have to work that my pay would be 15% higher than it is now? A lot. All right, not that I'm bitter. I'm fine. I'm fine.
XKey score forensics.
All right, so now we're gonna add John Dyson to our little hodgepodge here and see if we can find any new connections. Official employee welcome kit and employee record. This is the employee record for John Dyson. Nope, it's still the same one we already had. But now we have the employee welcome kit. Click to zoom, and we can browse if we can quickly see that SNet Cyberdyne Group is the name of the server that we're going to be going after. So it's snet.cyberdynegroup.net, and the username is sbrewster if we need that. So now we have a little bit of information. So we need to do our fingerprint on Cyberdyne Group. So close that out. Go back to our fingerprint. Post fingerprint.
Gathering module.
So fingerprint. Print. snet.cyberdynegroup.net. And remember, this isn't going to find any vulnerable technologies that might be running on that snet.cyberdynegroup.net, which will give us a vector to attack. We didn't find anything. So let's see, let's go back to the XKey score.
Forensics initiated.
Employee welcome kit. Maybe we typed in something wrong. Alright, welcome to Cyberdyne Group. You'll be joining organization member at Dallas. Please arrive at 8 a.m. Please access the file server with the credentials below. Oh, we have to go to let's go to the file server. So we want to run, please pick up your new company. So maybe we have to do the password attack on S. Brewster Cyberdyne Net Group. It didn't give us that. It didn't tell us to do that. Now did it? So let's see if we can do that. Password attack.
Password attack and intrusion module initiated.
Target Cyberdyne group.net S. Brewster. We're just gonna run our normal. It was SNet, right? I'm typing Cyberdyne Group. Did I type it in wrong on the other thing? Alright, let's see. Did I type it in wrong on that other thing?
Target acquired.
Let's run Gmail, I mean John the Ripper again.
Launch.
See if it finds anything. 5 minutes. Hopefully it's not going to take that long. I'm wondering if this means that I typed in the other thing. Now that should keep running.
Information gathering module.
Let's see if I just typed it in wrong before. Fingerprint snet.cyberdynegroup.net. Maybe I typed it in wrong the first time. Doesn't seem like it. Nope, that's what it was. I typed it in wrong the first time. Oh well. Maybe we'll still get that password anyway. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that running. Back to certification.
Awesome! We now know the server location. It's not vulnerable, so you gotta access the server legitimately. We have the employee username, but running a password attack is risky. If we get caught, we'll lose the opportunity to plant our malware.
Dope!
According to the intel you found, the employee has a corporate-issued cell phone. Go to the network intrusion menu and launch the phone CID backdoor. Use the intel you identified in XKeyscore and enter the cell phone's unique MAC address and vendor name. Then, investigate the phone to find the password.
Alright, remember, click on continue training. Let's close out this stuff, close out that, close out the password attack before we get caught. Let's go back on XKeyscore real quick and look at...
Forensics initiated.
Because I don't know if it's going to remember. So if we know her she has a Verizon phone, and the MAC address is 6A7069645156. You'll see why that's important in just a second. And it's an Android, LG, Verizon. You'll see why we need it here in just a second. Alright, so connect to Sasha Brewster's phone using the information found on XKeyscore. So we're going to network intrusion phone CID
Network
backdoor.
intrusion module initiated.
MAC address is 6A-7D. I don't think caps matter, but we'll find out here in a second, won't we? 69645156. Vendor Verizon. Smartphone not found. Oh, the vendor wasn't Android, or maybe the caps do matter. Let's find out. 6A7D 69645156. Smartphone not found. So let's go back and look at the information.
XKeyscore forensics initiated.
Vendor is LG. Alright. Get this right this time. The vendor is LG.
Network intrusion module
Alright.
initiated.
6A7D 69645156. Vendor is LG. There we go. Okay, so now we're in her phone. We look at settings, notes, and contacts. Find a clue for her password. Temporary password. Probably right there in her notepad. There's a house. One enters it blind and comes out seeing. I'm guessing it's a church. I'm guessing that's what it is. Or a doctor or an eye doctor's office. I don't know. Let's close this out. Back to certification.
Looks like we have what we need to upload the mower.
Or school.
Did you figure out the
Okay.
riddle? There is a house. One enters it blind and comes out seeing. What is it? It's one of the oldest riddles in the world. A version of it was found etched into a clay tablet found in Sumer, dating from 18th century BC. Humanity has had almost 4,000 years to solve it, but I'm only giving you 5 more seconds. Time's up. The answer is school. We enter school blind, without knowledge, and come out the other side a learned scholar, able to see the world. Clever, right? I'm a sucker for ancient Sumeria. Well, actually all of Mesopotamia. Anytime you want to chat Bronze Age civilizations, I'm your guy. But I won't always be here to help you with stuff like this. So from time to time, you'll have to leave the Stinger OS to do some research in the real world or online. Let's hope Sasha Brewster didn't change her temporary password. Open the file browser and use her credentials to connect to the Cyberdyne Group file server. Then, upload the malware and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, so we didn't have to use that password attack. So go back into file browser. Data forensic, file browser, SNAT, that's Cyberdyne, Cyberdyne Group Net. So now we're going to use S Rooster School Connect. So now we're just going to upload the file. Didn't say we had to upload it to her directory. All right, so let's go to users, administrator, documents, AzureNet folder, projects, algorithms, AzureNet. Okay, so we need to upload it to here. You can see it's up there in the thing. All right. Set disconnect from their network. We go here.
Turbine C2 registry.
VPN disconnect.
Disconnected.
Alright, this should be it. Back to certification. Certification granted. Alright, we have now completed. That was digital forensics. We've done basic terminal operations and digital forensic. In our next video, we will do network intrusion. It should be the last one we have to do before we go on to playing the actual game. Alright, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, give it a like. If you didn't enjoy it, give it a like. And I will see you on the next video. I'm Game Void. Thank you for watching.